Yeah.
I mean, I give it, again. Hey, everybody, let's start taking our seats. We need to continue. We're behind a little bit and we're gonna have Jordan, speaking about still spending a lot of money and getting hacked.
Okay.
So please take your seats and get ready.
I need to get started.
Guys, we're ready. Please go ahead.
I mean, I do pretty much everything that you think about creativity and art. I mean, I did try. To pick up.
Start right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone, yeah. Last starting, a lot of people are still having some teeth outside, but here we go. I'm gonna be talking today about still spending a lot of money and getting hacked. And that's gonna be different than the other talks for you guys because we have like two challenges. And that's on you. The first one is to understand me, because as you can see, I have a different accent. I am originally from Brazil. I have a different, sometimes I make a lot of two mistakes about grammar, and that's cool. I like it. I don't worry about it. And the other thing, so you really need to pay attention. So that's the way that you're gonna be able to understand. Okay. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about myself. I have been like over 20 years already working with security. I started when I was like 15. And yeah, I use, like teenager that just want to understand how the application will work if you didn't follow the expected flow. And and that's when I started just to go and get, like different ideas, different ways to think about the application. So nowadays I work for security years as a senior security consultant with penetration test. And I'm still a college professor. Yeah, even with this English, I'm still a college professor over here. I also was in Brazil for a long time as well, first coordinator, and talking about for sure information security. I work in the National Institute of Space Research in Brazil about satellite and ground communication, and also work the police in Brazil in some crime solving. And yeah, I used to be a CISO, and that's I think what made me a little bit different because I know that sometimes the way that CISO are thinking about and the way that we as a penetration tester can like bypass this thinking, and that's what I want to talk to you guys today. So we're gonna go here for like the information value, and then I show like the real world examples about what I have seen in this market, and also try to conclude about this. So information value, and this another day I remember I was like showering because for sure the greatest gift thing when you are showering, right? You're just taking a shower, and I was thinking like, okay, how important is information? Yes, I walk a lot. So what important it is like the information of our company. Right? What type of data do I have in my company? And again, how important it is to manage and keep that safe? Not just showing that thing. Oh, okay, yeah, thinking about this. Cool. So, what if we needed to manage like our company or your company without your data? So what are you talking about? So like a nightmare, so a horror move, like but okay, even if something happens, I still have like a disaster recovery plan. And what if your disaster recovery plan is something like that? Right? Just go and help and just have no idea what you're doing. Uh okay, so even worse, let's think about if we get our data falling in a wrong hands. And I learned something. I have a child, she's 7, And she always gives me really good insight as well, correct my English all the time. Also, my dog correct my English. But and I told her like, about this picture, and I show her. She loved, She always say, by the way, she always put me in trouble because she goes to school, and when teacher just asks, "What do you that dude? He's a hacker." Oh, sometimes this is not good. I'm trying to explain to her like, can you say like information security to students? It sounds bad, right? She didn't get it. She rather say that I go to NASA because I was in Tech Space Con last week. So my dad was hacking man. And I'm glad that the FBI guy already left. So that's better. Okay. But she always say, look, Daddy, sharing is caring. But I think that doesn't apply exactly when you are talking about our data, right? About our information about our company. So yeah, I have two different parts of this presentation. I have the first one that I call the bullshit, and I have the sexy thing. First, we're talking about bullshit. By the way, there's another thing in English that I'm trying to learn. It is just about shit. Because I already heard that shit can be a good shit, can be a bad shit. So I'm still, learning about it, how we're gonna work with it. But okay, so sharing is caring, and we're talking now. Okay, so knowing that your information, it is so important for you, for your clients or customers. Why don't you take care about it? Do you have like all your controls in place? Are they really working as expected? And usually what I see, and when I say like my whole background experience as well as security is, what we usually see, it is like most of the time we have like the feet under the garment. And most of the time as well, and maybe you were thinking about it, I don't know. I used to think about that when I was a CISO. Um, but not with me, like I have the best equipment, I have like the best bars, war, I have like the best professionals, I have the best tools, right? So we have all this type of information. And that's what I'm gonna show you guys that sometimes, people don't really understand. So that's gonna be a really bad joke. I'd like to buy a bagel with cream cheese. Sorry, we don't take cash. Right? So sometimes people don't really understand what's going on or what you want to talk about. And again, you have that feeling about how everything's working. And no, it's not gonna happen on my company. I have a really good example here. I don't know if you guys already watched this video. I love it. So we have a CISO and we have a penetration test. We don't have sound, but here we go. I have enough firewall. Don't worry. All in place. All working.
There we go.
Are you sure? Okay. Maybe that was out of scope. I don't know, but yeah, this is a problem. And okay, so can I walk through here? I'm gonna be beeping everywhere. I'm gonna try. I don't know. So let's see, guys. Can you win? Go ahead, win, please. Tic tac toe. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Okay, go ahead. Who can win? Come on, win. I have a challenge point for you guys. Who can win? Nope.
It's a pro. Austin goes first.
Say it again.
Austin goes first.
No, but no. The way it is, go ahead and win now. Oh.
It's a pro.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna keep that for me for life. We're gonna have questions, but cool. Look, Daddy, you are cheating. You can't cheat. You are cheating. Yeah, breaking news. Criminals do not follow your rules and your policies. They don't care. Oh, tic tac toe. That's the rule. You cannot do that. Yeah, okay. Right. I just did it. So nice. So how do criminals think? Again, there are no rules or better. There are, but not for the one to want to break it. Because if we just get the data report that we had for Verizon a few months ago, and we checked that, look, why do they do that? They are criminals. It's financial. So again, I don't mind the, not me, but the criminal. They don't mind to be like cheating. They don't mind to be working like that. That's the main idea for them. That's the great actor that motivates the players. But again, what is worse, the worst scenario that I want to show you guys? Like the pseudo security. I love this dog. He's running outside. He's a really strong dog. Someone other dog maybe can bite him and choke. But okay. So now my company, I am supported by my own policy, and I believe that I'm gonna be the best. And you become a prisoner of your pseudo security. Let's see some numbers about top compromises in 2024. Financial service, healthcare, professional service, manufacturing, education. Also, we have like, for example, in 2024, Ticketmaster. I even don't know how to read that number. Like change, healthcare, and there's a lot of different companies. But look this. When we check, we have privilege misuse, but we have system intrusion still at 53%. And that number is always increasing. You can just see that exploitation for 1 year, for 2024 to 2025, increased by 34%. The third part vendor breach doubled. Goes, okay, now it's not my issue anymore. I just give that to the third party, right? You can still take care about it. And always, that never gonna change. We see here like social engineering and other things. So, us, a human, always a human. We still play a really good role in this part. And I'm just showing again, this is like something from Brazil and Italy a long time ago, but I still remember this boy. Just showing like, how humans are, right? So cool.
Is there the reasoning behind the increase by 34%?
That's for sure the reason, right?
So is it just that reason or maybe some business reasons expanding of?
Oh, for sure, that's more, yeah, sure, that's more human. Okay, so remember that was like the bullshit things, and now let's see some sex. So real world examples. I can say that looks so basic, really, but I'm just thinking like maybe my 10, 20 last engagements. I can say that everyone, not in all of them, but like like every each other, I just get some like that. Usually you have like a really good firewall, but you have the default password and news, and it's always telling you about that. It is every time that you log in, you have like, hey, change this for the God's sake, please change it. But you don't. And here, maybe you're gonna say, oh, iDRAC and all the other, web applications that we have, like front ends that we have, the registration consoles. Some of them is gonna require the integrate, but some's not. And even more, some that you are not concerned about. Who can give me an example about one administrative interface that you guys already live or living inside your, not your company now, but in the past? That usually don't have credentials or you don't care, you just stay with the full credentials. Any ideas? Security? Video, yeah, camera, right? A lot of different cameras. What else?
Right there.
What else?
Baseboard management controllers.
management controllers, and that's one that is so much easier, printers. Right? And what's the problem about printers? That nobody cares about the credentials on changing that. Printers usually are multifunctional and they have the scanner. And the scanner has an open file share that is writable. So if you log in on that with the full credentials or no credentials, and you just go and put whatever you want, because it's a writable file share. You just put that and you just wait for the user to click on it. No? So that's again, imagine in this room, I don't need it to come through that door. Because I know that door is gonna have, as we have like a security board, we're gonna have like a lot of people, it's gonna be really hard. But I don't mind, I can come through here. Doesn't matter, I don't need to bypass your firewall. Maybe it's just gonna bypass your printer or something that's misconfigured. So this is one of the examples. Another thing that I want to bring, it is this. Developer, it's not, never was, and never gonna be an admin. I know that sometimes it's hard because they need access. And I just bring this short to show like, hi, I'm the new that. I was told you can grant me access to the source code. Sure, which repository and permission? I don't know. Same as the last art on my team. Sure thing. You are now admin in our repository. Because it's easier. That's the thing. How many times when you're trying to just go and save a file or send something, or like trying to do an action and you can't, and you just go and talk to help desk, and they try to help you and don't work, and they try to help you and don't work, and they just give, full access and easier. Just go. And that's the problem. Even I can take care about that later. I'm gonna unflag that later. I'm gonna remove this later. And just forget. They're humans, right? Make a lot of mistakes. So I always remember about the principle of this privilege. This is really important. Another thing, and this always can say 90% of the engagements. Firewall sharing containing sensitive data. You have something that is open for an authenticated user or for like a regular user that you are just testing, and there you just forget about some old backup, old data, or some script, some backup script, some PHP, ASPX file, right? And I love because usually the way that we find this, there's a lot of tools for sure, but the way that we find this is just when we look some folder like this. It should work all box first. Not everything that you just left, I was developing and okay, I tried this and I have a connection to the database. Just go and check in the file. And again, it is hard for you just go and find something that you did, you know it's there, but you just forgot to clean. Hygiene, right? Another thing, use of end of life softwares. If you remember Netscape got older as Live Messenger, Windows 95. For sure, I'm just bringing some full examples here, but end of life software equals known vulnerabilities, known CVEs. It is just, you can be the laziest person in the world. Just Google it. Ask ChatGPT. Otherwise, you can also go and be even more lazy and just watch a video on YouTube how to reduce that. Right? So if you have old software, end of life software, you have vulnerability. You are just waiting someone going to try it. Another one is the use of encrypted protocol. Telnet, FTP, HTTP without the S. So you just need like a man in the middle attack. It's even worse if you have like an encrypted protocol with the full credentials. The next example I really love, and let me ask you something, guys. What do you think is have more update when you were talking about web application? The back end or the front end? You know what I mean? When you are updating a web app, you think that we have more back end dates or more front end dates? Just front end, right?
Yeah.
Because it's beautiful. We needed to show new technologies that needed to be blinking now with unicorns, like you need to do like something different. And a lot of times we have something like this. You should not pass. You just go log in and you have all the parts of your role selected, but the button is just disabled. And if you don't have a back-end control, it is so easy to bypass. Because you just go inspect the page, and when you have the disable, you just go and remove that. So when you remove the disable, you don't have the button. When you remove it here, and you can be admin. And if you just submit, and again, you don't have a back-end process to check it. You pro. I was working on engagement that wasn't this scenario, but we have like the company ID code and it was something like this. And when you change company ID, I was able to see the other tenants as well. If I just put something like all zero, I'm just gonna be like the denial service because I'm just gonna break the application. So this is something that sometimes we don't realize that was there. Another thing is testing production. This is like a huge, and this examples that I'm gonna show now, they are related to Brazil. That was a long time ago, but still happen. This is like for a financial sector, and you can see, for example, the first thing that you are learning when you are coding is printf hello code, right? It's the first thing when you're doing anything about related with the any language program when you are developing. And yeah, you see, this is like in a real environment, in a production environment. So the same way that you have that, probably you have more things. This is another example about, we have, for example, PHP or ASPX. And those files, they are a backend file. What that means that everything's gonna be executed in the back and just gonna send to you the HTML. That's what suppose you're just gonna see when render, right? But here, if you just rename those type of files, you're gonna have a problem because that's gonna be displayed. It's not gonna be interpreted by the server in the backend. So here you have, for example, that SQL.ASP-test. And when you just go here, you can see all the connection string. Another example, identity security control. This is also for a health care company in Brazil. And we needed, for example, to just log in this system. You have the user and password, but the application is not really verifying the authorization in all the steps. So what happened? You just go and get like dear search and do something like that to see what you have. And I was able to find this page /ADM include user, just for naming this. So you can just go and create your own user. Because like it's not, we don't have the authorization to check over there. Other type, that this one, my daughters already know. Because every time that she's close to me, I said, hey, let's try that one. And she thinks that's nice. No? So here we have like one of the system, and as you guys can see, we have like the code data. That's basically a user ID, let's say like that. And I have 73343, and I have like a lot of data. And IDOR, right? The effective security phone. I just go and change. I'm gonna be able to see other people. other people doing. Oh, that doesn't happen a lot. Oh, yes, it does. Look, I have one more example about a huge company again in Brazil. This is like an invoice. And here, if we check, we have like on the top, this is like the order number. Same thing. And here you can see like you have my name, you have like the amount that I'm spending on that place. And here, again, we just changed, we have like other person. Ooh, that's a lot of example, right? One more, here we go. Liquid credentials. Liquid credentials are awesome because I can just put that. I just go and check where, or I have a really good friend here, if you guys don't know him, Apura, that's an awesome tool. You guys just need like a dark web monitoring service because what happened? If you just go here and check like the username that usually is the email, can be a different username that also was liquid with like a password list that you just got on that and just run, for example, and script to run the metadata. You're gonna run and try to find it. On time you will find it because unfortunately that's the way it is. Okay, so I show like a lot of problems, but and now. And if you were thinking like this, I wasn't able to communicate good because, and you can blame my English. Here we go. Easy, thanks. I got it. I needed to review my end of life product, open file share, permission, the full credential, right? You have no full, like, you are not thinking in the right way. That's not the best place to go get back and put food inside your spacecraft, right? Your rocket ship. So symptoms are not the same than the root cause. I'm gonna show one of the failed attempts related to that. I don't know if you guys already lived this situation. You go to a company, and when you go to enter, even more if you have like a sticker like professional ego like that, the guy just check, and usually it's not like some huge guy, he's really angry, like angry about everything. So when you just go in there and you say, hey, I'm entering, and you're gonna say, no, you cannot enter with your laptop. That happened to me in 2010 in a huge company in Brazil that built airplanes. Okay, I was about to enter that. And the guy said, no, we don't allow visitors to have a laptop. We needed to live here. Okay, and about smartphones. No. We know, right? Smartphones today, that's a method present. Exploit, right? You can do whatever you want. Same, it's just small, right? So that's something like the failed technique that I'm showing. This because of it. Symptoms are not the same as the root cause. We always needed to think a little bit more about it. Okay, but wait. What would MacGyver do now? If you know MacGyver, you are old again. Okay. So yeah, what would MacGyver do now? First, wash your hands in your computer. Cyber hygiene. Just go and yes, do your homework for sure. You need to do your homework. You need to be, always checking least privilege. You needed to check in all the file share that you have. You needed to do everything that cyber hygiene explained. But let's think like that's great that you did that, but that's not enough. Let's think about your insight team. When you have an insight team, you have a tunnel vision. You need an outbox perspective to help alleviate problems rooted in the usual inbox field. It is basically being like this. Because you are living, and again, as I said, I used to be a CISO. I am living the situation. I say, yes, I do have backups. Yeah, I do have a disaster recovery plan. Yes, I am compliant. I have all those things. But sometimes you're just looking like this. because you're not able, because you're living, the daily situation. And I love to have quotes in my presentation. And one of the quotes that I got was this one. An outside perspective can help alleviate problems rooted in a habitual tunnel vision. And you guys know who wrote this quote? He's not famous yet, because usually quotes are from famous people after they die. I guess too. Hey. Yes. Hey. Cool.
Take a picture.
You got it.
Alright.
Okay, so let's be the superhero. What doesn't kill make you stronger, right? So let's be the superhero, and how we are can be like the superhero. Easy. Raise your hand, ask for help. Think evil. But think evil not because you are bad or really care about your data, not because you needed to be in compliance. That's a consequence. Oh, I just need to know, can I have this just sign with my paper and I got me. Ooh, one more year. I got it. I passed. Now, you really need to take care of all your data, right? Do it because you care. And yes, for sure. When I say this, I'm saying about professional evil. And that's not a pitch. I'm not saying go and hire Jordan. No, hire someone better than I. We have all the consultants. Okay. So, but again, you needed to know how to think evil. You needed to think outside the company. Try to find different bridges that you are not in a situation every day you find. You needed to have someone that can do that for you. Here I have some additional resources related for what you can do as your homework. And about, like the version, the database investigation reports. And yes, I think so that's basically what I want to show you guys. And any questions? Okay, we have a challenge quite quick. Not the hard ones. If you ask for a hard one, I'm gonna say no English. Okay, guys, so really, any question? Perfect. So, thank you. Appreciate it.
So you're one from. Stop by.